So how can we spend less but still be healthy? How can we eat on a budget?
You don't require avocado. It has a lot of replacement as well. But so I would say that when it comes to vegetables and fruits, it's important that we are sticking to the seasonal local produce. Okay, it's fresher, it's cheaper, it's nutritious. So I would say that all the pulses can be really great addition. Soya is also not so costly, the soya chunk that we have. And this can be, like we were discussing that apart from salmon, we can have mackerel, we can have sardine, we can have rohu, all these fish, right? Basa, like that.
So essentially, any of the locally available fish is a good protein substrate. It's a good source of protein.
Yeah. So quinoa is not something which is also, I mean, I hear from people that it doesn't really suit our taste because also the texture. So oats also sometimes people are like not so fond of. But yes, millets are amazing and you can make millet khichdi, you can make chapati, you can make paratha. I mean, you can make whatever you want. So it has a versatility that you can utilize. And don't shop when you're hungry, right? So I
That's
mean,
interesting.
the moment you're hungry and you go to buy a food or even to a grocery shop, you you will end up buying something which is a junk, essentially.
Hello there. On the longevity shot today, we are continuing our discussion on how to eat right. Whether you want to do it to lose weight, to build your health, or to work towards longevity. In parts 1 and 2 of the series, we discussed how to eat for longevity and how to ensure we get enough protein from an Indian veg or vegetarian or non vegetarian diet. Now, if you haven't seen those yet, subscribe to the Never Too Late channel and check them out. Now we're joined again by Dr. Subhasree Ray, who will tell us how to eat healthy on a budget. Yes, you don't need to sell your kidney to get that avocado. But a bit about Subhasree first. She has a PhD in clinical nutrition. She heads wellness at the TVS Motor Company, and in her day job, she designs sustainable well-being programs to help her staff be more healthier and productive. She's also a columnist and an author of several research papers and books, including a brief on nutrition for the G20. Welcome, Subhasree. I would, like to start discussing by this new research paper that I recently read that ranked all the diets, your mind diet, your DASH diet, your Mediterranean diet, etc. The conclusion, of course, was that whatever diet you choose to follow, ensure you get all your food groups, your proteins, your carbs and fats, and macronutrients. And of course, the big finding that was coming out, eat more plants. Have you seen it, and what are your views on that?
So, when it comes to diet, Kavita, it's also very personal. Let me tell you this, because at times what happens, we want to, we want people as researcher, as nutrition researcher, or a food system researcher. I would like people to eat certain things, but sometimes it's the geographical region, regional barrier, or sometimes the culture will not allow to do that. So when we talk about eating habits or diet, we should be a little bit mindful that we cannot just give blanket suggestion that you do this, you do that. It's not going to sustain because then people will not be able to imbibe it with their culture. About the ranking, see, if you're looking at latest evidence, time over time, anything that has a lot of plant-based uh, sources in diet, so that is doing really, really great. But when it comes to, so if you talk about DASH, even Mediterranean, all are plant heavy. Plant heavy in the sense they're saying that you eat more veggies, more fruits, more beans, more legumes, more whole grains, meat, and meat is very, very limited. And processed food has no place in these diets.
So,
But
yeah, go
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Sorry.
So yes, I'll just complete it here. So plant-based is doing wonder, but not all plant-based are created healthy. So I'm not somebody who really prefer to suggest food such as plant-based burger, plant-based this, because imagine to mimic the taste of a plant, like of a burger, which you're getting from an animal source. So I'm not sure that if it's very original or natural in nature. It might have a lot of colors and artificial flavors to give you the feel of that animal-based burger or the meat that you are having, right? So having said that, it would be always a balance that we have to do. If you're eating natural, plant-based food, wholesome, it's great. That is it.
Great. So let's circle back to all the different components that you just spoke about. Now, if you look at if you look at all of those fruits, vegetables, proteins, we are asked to eat more of these and less of cereals. Um, Now, these are also the most expensive components of the food basket. So, how can we spend less but still be healthy? How can we eat on a budget? So let's
So,
take it. If I'm interrupting you, but let's take it component by component. Let's look at vegetables first.
correct. So if we are talking about vegetables, let's go for seasonal. Let's go for locally produced, fresh produce. Let's not go to the supermarket and look for vegetables which are imported. So people are obsessed with avocado, but not everybody can afford that, and which is okay. You don't require avocado. It has a lot of replacement as well. But so I would say that when it comes to vegetables and fruits, it's important that we are sticking to the seasonal local produce. Okay, it's fresher, it's cheaper, it's nutritious.
Okay, so if you
Second,
look at vegetables again, which are the vegetables that we should be eating more of?
all the vegetables. I mean, all particularly which are your local produce and the seasonal. So, but sometimes if we are also getting deeper into the how to make it even more cheaper, frozen vegetables are great. They're nutritious, often cheaper. But in our country, that's not the context. I mean, we are not, so big because there are countries where, like in US or other part of Europe, so they have like a lot of frozen vegetables. But for our country, we get it fresh. So all the vegetables, for example, if we are talking about, green leafy, so we have our palak, mustard green, methi, cabbage, all the local greens that we can have. Also, red saag that we have, so those kind of things. We can also have, for example, seasonal fruits, which are also very cheaper, like guava, like banana, all these things are very easily available, full of fiber and satiety. So lettuce and pepper and mustard green, kale. So these are not our vegetables. We will never have that. It's okay to stick to, spinach and say that, yes, I'm happy. So you get it very easily, right? Out there.
Right. I mean, of course, we keep hearing an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but let's face it, buying an apple a day is also quite a task because apples tend to get costlier, especially in the off-season months. Again, what can we replace an apple with?
I'm very sorry to say like that, Kavita, we cannot replace it, but we can have, like I said, that more guava, more watermelon. Yeah. So these are some food that we can have. Apple once in a while, but guava and watermelon, muskmelon. Okay. So these are really, really great fruits like musambi sometimes, sweet lime or oranges, but these are seasonal again, right? But guava, you get, I think now we get it all the time, or watermelon. I mean, it has to be seasonal. Now, winter apple usually now every time available, but it's usually a winter fruit, right? So maybe in winter we would like to have something which is citrus in nature, like orange or sweet lime, like I said. So these are the things I would like to recommend.
You
um,
mentioned the banana. What about the papaya?
Papaya, yes, of course. Yeah, papaya is amazing fruit. I mean, it has such digestive power. I mean, it's just very nice.
Let's look at proteins again. Protein is an important component of the diet, but it's also a very expensive component of the diet. How can we ensure that we are getting our proteins while on a budget?
Going for all the pulses and beans, I mean, those are pretty cheap in India. Eggs are good. Like fish is, yeah, fish is a little bit pricey at times, but there are fish. I mean, you can always have, different type of fish, but the nutritional value will be still same. 100 grams will be giving you 20 grams of good amount of protein. So if you're getting a cheaper fish, which you're also fond of, go for it. So I would say that all the pulses can be really great addition. Soya is also not so costly, the soya chunk that we have. And this can be, like we were discussing that apart from salmon, we can have mackerel, we can have sardine, we can have rohu. all these fish, right? Basa, like
So,
that.
so essentially, any of the locally available fish is a good protein substrate. It's a good source of protein.
Yeah. See, Kavit, so what happens when we go to market? I mean, even so, let's say, for example, we also have hilsa, right? So I'm a Bengali, and like, so hilsa is something which is so tasty, but it always, even pomfret. So these are costlier fish, right? But you will have other options also, right? So sometimes, so these are indulgences. But if you, as a Bengali, like we have like fish every day. So this is like everyday part of our life. So we buy some fish which are like local, and even in Orissa, Bihar, people have easily available fish which we can have. Yeah, I mean, which are not so very high in cost.
Right. Now, of course, a big component of the Mediterranean diet is olive oil. And olive oil is very expensive. What are the oils that we can use in India, Indian oils that we can use as substitutes?
I really recommend that we can have all cold pressed oil. See, there are a lot of research for seeds oil, like we have discussed, that particularly industrially processed, filtered seeds oil, which are very heavy in omega 6, right? Which is not really good for your heart. So that can be avoided. Any cold pressed ground nut or coconut, or any nut oil which is cold pressed, or even seeds oil which is cold pressed, you can have. And the fundamental about oil is that you have to mix and match. I mean, you have to you have to rotate it. I mean, one month if you're having groundnut, the next month you can have even I would say safflower, but it has to be cold pressed, because filtered oil are really bad. I mean, industrially processed oil has so much of research. But then again, hey, I mean, if you are really having something in a budget, sometimes you also have to think about your lifestyle, right? I mean, what is your economic condition? So maybe in 2 months or 3 months, we can have groundnut, and then we can go back to some other oil. So, like that, we can have groundnut is a great option.
Um, you spoke of seeds. Now, seeds, of course, we are told to eat more of seeds like sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, etc. Which are the seeds, locally available seeds that are cheaper alternatives to that we can consume more of?
With the seeds, you get everything here. I mean, in India, I mean, because I'm a seed eater, like I have, seeds like every day. I love seeds because, those are kind of tiny things. You need small. You don't need to load your stomach to get a good amount, good quality of nutrients. So seeds, I usually get all of it. And like I said, that the best part is you just need to sprinkle it. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 teaspoon, like tablespoon or a fistful. You don't eat seeds like you're eating rice, right? So it's very minimal you require. So if you're purchasing it for once, so it will go for long term. So that way we can have. So flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, chia, these are even sunflower. I mean, those are all available, and these are good sources, which I feel that we can be having at regular basis. I mean, definitely, if you can cut down your cost on pizza, so you can include it here.
That's a good one. Again, pizza. I mean, Indians love our carbs, right? I mean, we have it in so many varieties, but
Yeah.
a lot of us have tried to replace it with the so-called healthier ones like the quinoa and oats and etc., which again are also expensive. What are inexpensive but nutritious options that are easily available in India?
Millets, millets, millets. See, so millets are wonder. I mean, I have done so much work in millets, and millet is also a climate smart crop, right? We spoke about it, I guess, in the last time also, but not in detail. So millet require very minimal environmental resource, like the water and the soil health as well, because all these resources are precious. So we really don't know tomorrow what will happen to the water, resource. Seriously, I mean, the way we are going in global warming and the environmental changes. So millet requires very less amount of environmental resources. At the same time, it is fantastic in terms of nutrition composition. All sort of millets. I mean, so jowar and ragi is something which is very easily available and cheaper. Sometimes we can have barnyard millet as well, or kodo, and they are like powerhouse of nutrition. And there are so many research which has proved that established that if you're having a millet based diet, it can actually have um, a lot of preventive factors against your non-communicable diseases. So millets. So quinoa is not something which is also, I mean, I hear from people that it doesn't really suit our taste because also the texture. So oats also sometimes people are like not so fond of, but yes, millets are amazing, and you can make millet khichdi, you can make chapati, you can make paratha. I mean, you can make whatever you want. So it has a versatility that you can utilize.
Right. So essentially, what you're telling us is we need to eat local and we need to be smart about what we are eating, right? But
Correct.
I recall reading this article, that you'd put out in your newsletter where you said that eating healthy begins by shopping smart.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on that a bit?
I, as a person, also like believe in planning, right? So I believe in planning, believe in organized activities. So making a grocery list really, really help. So if you know that before you're heading to the store, that you know that what you want to buy, what are the nutritious option that you want to do, cheaper option. If you do a little bit of research, then that is the first step that you will be doing. Second, once a week shopping is also good if you want to reduce the waste and manage the budget, because sometimes people just hoard it and they don't use it and it gets stale. So this is a very ghar ka thing, and we do it accordingly. But making a list is important. Choose versatile ingredients. So you need to have dal to make khichdi, also dosa batter, soup, etc. So all these things can be in your diet. I mean, you need to be making sure that you have all the ingredients. Buy in bulk and store well. So that way, of course, the supermarkets are for that only. So particularly grains and pulses and spices, which doesn't get rotten. And don't shop when you're hungry, right? So I
That's
mean,
interesting.
the moment you're hungry and you go to buy a food or even to a grocery shop, you will end up buying something which is a junk, essentially. So you don't need to go shopping when you're hungry. You can only go to shopping when you're prepared. You know that what you're gonna buy.
So
You're
essentially, you're
buying,
telling
right?
us have lunch and then go shop. That way, you get in your walk after your lunch, and you're also getting your veggies.
Yeah, I'm saying that. I'm saying that. And of course, comparing unit prices sometimes helps, So not just the pack prices, also looking in the aisle that, what are the cheapest available. Also look at the nutritional value that am I getting almost near to it. So why not buying, this instead of that. So this is something I really, and also buying from a local vendor. I mean, not the pulses or all these things, but when it comes to your fresh fruits and vegetables, it's always best to buy from a local vendor whom you trust, whom you go to regularly, because then you get the fresher and the cheaper one.
Yeah, and then you also get to see what's new in the market, right? What is coming
Yeah,
in season, like you said.
yeah.
Now, recall reading this somewhere that if you shop in a supermarket, in one of those food stores, then you should ideally start at the back because that's where they keep their cereals. Is that true?
No, I mean, it totally depends on what you want to buy first.
I'll tell you what the reasoning was. The reasoning
Yeah.
was that don't take a cart, take a basket and start shopping
Okay.
from the back. So you're picking up all the heavy stuff, your dals and your pulses and all of that, filling. I mean, the ones that are your essentials, and then you get your vegetables. And by the time you come to the beginning of the aisle where the junk food is there, there's no space
Okay.
left in your basket.
Okay, wow. So I really like this idea. People can be really, really innovative, but I believe it's the behavior. It's the behavioral modification, Kavita. If you want to do it, you will do it. I mean, see, why I couldn't answer to that, because I couldn't relate. Because because I will never go and go buy junk, right? I mean, that's like innate in me. Like that's also by training because I'm a nutrition expert by education, and I'm also like into wellness and all. But yeah, I mean, I think it's behavior. So people who want to buy a kurkure, they will buy a kurkure. Doesn't matter. They will get another basket and they will take it.
So, and that. In fact, Subhasree is a great place to end this conversation on.
Yeah.
What we are essentially learning, or what I have at least learned from this entire conversation, is that eating healthy needs to be sustainable. It needs to be something that you
Yes.
can stick to for your entire life. It cannot be something that you're going to do for the next 2 months only. So you
Yeah.
need to see whether it fits your environment, whether it fits your budget, whether it fits
Yes.
your living conditions, your family's tastes, and then you need to figure out how you're going to eat healthy. But of course, you need to get your veggies, your fruits, and your proteins. And the other thing, like Subhasree said, is it's also about managing your environment. So don't get that packet of kurkure home. Instead, get a bunch of bananas home, right?
Exactly, exactly. Because then wrapper also adds to the environmental waste. We shouldn't be going into that direction. But yes, great conclusion, Kavita. And as usual, amazing, amazing discussing with you.
Great, great. And pleasure talking to you, sir. Subhasree. Thank you very much for joining us. And of course, we look forward to having you more often on the Longevity Shot. And for the rest of you who have tuned in, Longevity Shot is, of course, the show where the podcast where we talk to experts and try to understand how to prepare for the 100-year life, whether it is in fitness and nutrition, whether it is the latest scientific advances, or whether it is also how to take care of your money, what careers can you do after you retire, and what can you do in your free time. So, a lot of those conversations with a lot more experts coming up. So, make sure you subscribe to Never Too Late so that you are notified every time a new longevity shot drops. Thank you for watching.